Hey everyone, welcome back to Hollow Point Defense. Let's start by taking apart this gun to include the receiver so you can see it. The tools that you will need are 2 Allen keys, a 9/64 and an 1/8 inch. For the factory screws back here, you will need a T9 star or Torx. Let's go ahead and start this. The first thing you want to do is take the buttstock off, set it to the side. We're going to take out the spring, the buffer plug, put it to the side. Then we will take out the bolt. Put that in my little tray. Take the bolt out, put it to the side. And there we go. It's a little front heavy, so you got to hold that a little bit. So what you want to do is there's 6 screws right here. We're going to remove them. I've removed all but one just to make this a little quicker. It does take a little bit of time. The factory screws are a number 9 Torx. And then up front, the barrel is 9/64 hex on top and an 1/8 inch on the bottom screw. And just unscrew it. You'll feel a little tension from the weight of the barrel. Bottom screw will come out. Pick up on the barrel a tad bit, that'll pop right out. And there you go. Barrel removes that easy. And I just put my screw back inside this pan. I just stuff it back in the hole so I know where it goes. Same thing over here. 1/8 inch on the bottom. 9/64 on top. I'm actually going to use a longer part. I'm not good with my left hand. And then just unscrew it. This one will be a little harder because there's a spring inside here. It's got some tension on it. You'll see that in a minute. That screw will come out. Put a little pressure on it. Take that out. In here, you'll probably hear it. Maybe not. There we go. Be careful of all your parts. There's a little spring with some divots in it. Little end pieces. We'll show you that in a few because that's important. And then I'm just going to lift this off. But be careful with this piece right here. It's only held by a little recess in the plastic. And you can take the upper receiver off. And that little piece, I just call it a bolt guide. I haven't looked at the manual to see what it is. Just slides right out. Everything's taken apart. There's your internals again. I have another video showing you the internals. Fairly simple and easy. And there you go. There's your gun disassembled. You can clean it, do whatever you need to do. Fairly easy. Now let's put this all back together. You want to be careful of these parts. You will lose them. And I did call Smith & Wesson on this. There are no parts available whatsoever. Because it's a new model. It's exactly what I was told yesterday. So when you put this back in here, this end piece will go straight in there. It only fits virtually one way. Make sure you don't lose anything, so pay attention to your parts. And there we go. It'll recess in there. It'll fit like a glove, so to speak. And there you go. That upper receiver part is done. So what I was talking about earlier, I don't know if you can see it on here, there's a little, let me take it out too. There's a little nub two nubs on these springs. Inside here, there's a hole. Part that one piece goes in there, and there's an upper piece. If you see on top of here, there is another divot or a cutout. That is where that piece has to fit in there. The one thing I did find out is if you place that in there where it's nice and flat, take your pen, pre-put it in there. You have to work it a little bit because there's a little tension on it. And every now and then it'll pop like that, so you gotta be careful. Put that puppy in there. There's different ways you can do it. There we go. And you'll feel the tension on it. So what you wanna do is bring that back over here, kind of keep your tension on it. And put that back together. There we go. I'm gonna take this screw. There we go. Right underneath. I'm just gonna kind of hold it with my finger there. Trying to do this where you guys can see it. Oops, wrong one. Need the big one. And I'm just gonna kind of screw that until it gets kind of hand tight. There we go. There we go. You'll feel it start. Just get that in there. I did call Smith & Wesson again regarding this. They just said, do it till it's tight. There was no Torx specs or anything like that whatsoever. So what I'm going to do real quick is just put my new scope mounts. The reason I'm doing this. Put one on there. Put my screw back in here. The same thread lock nuts that came with the original are going to go back in there. They'll fit in these little recessed pieces right there. And the screws for that are an 1/8 inch hex key. So I'm just going to put on 2 for speed purposes of this video, because that'll put it together to where I can show you everything. And these get to be kind of a pain in the butt a little bit. I'm just hand tightening. The one thing you need to make sure is when you put on this latch here, make sure that spring works. If not, you're going to have a whole lot of troubles. Take your barrel, put it right back in there. I kind of put it to the side so I can kind of line the holes up, because there will be a little tension on this one as well. There we go. I'll lock it into place. The little screw on the bottom. Kind of hard to see when you're trying to do this blind. There we go. Just get it hand started so you don't cross thread anything. Put the 1/8 inch on the bottom again. And tighten it down. Again, I'm just hand tightening them for the video. And then I'm going to do a function check right here. Make sure everything's nice and solid. We'll put my bolt back in. Get the pin. There we go. My spring. My end piece. You won't see this because I got to put the gun up here. Put my buffer spacer back in. Get my pin. And there we go. We'll take this. Put this back on there. There we go. We'll do a quick function check. there we go. Everything works. Won't go any farther than that just because I want to get these screws on there. But there's a complete tear down and rebuild of that gun. Fairly simple to do. Again, for the factory screws back here without this scope mount, T9 top screw is a 9/64 Allen key, bottom is an 1/8 inch. So if you have the 1/8 inch 9/64 and a Torx 9, you'll be able to take this gun completely apart, clean it, put it back together. Fairly simple. The only thing I would tell you to watch out for is that little bolt guide right here on the side, that little triangular, half a triangle piece, and this spring is the most important parts to watch for on it. That way you make sure you got it rebuilt back. Just check the tolerances on everything. You're good to go. If you have any questions, post them below, and hopefully that helps you guys. Let me know if it does, because I'm just curious, because I didn't do this for kicks and giggles. I did it for you guys. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.